Have you ever sat in a crowded room but felt completely alone? Do you sometimes wake up and wonder, what's the point of all this? Why does life, despite everything you have, your job, your phone, your friends, still feel empty? These questions aren't strange. In fact, millions feel the same. They laugh, work, scroll, and still silently wonder why something always feels like it's missing. Think of a man who spends his entire week working hard just to enjoy the weekend. He buys things, eats out, parties, yet Sunday night always brings him the same quiet sadness. It's like eating sugar when what the body really needs is nourishment. Sweet on the surface, but empty inside. That's the kind of emptiness many of us carry, smiling outside, silent inside. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore thoughts you've always had but never dared to say out loud. This series is made just for you, if you've ever felt lost, tired, or emotionally drained. Here, we will walk slowly through the teachings of Buddhism, not as rules, but as soft lights to guide the way. Before we go further, we ask one thing. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, if this video speaks to your heart, like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. It really helps us reach more souls like yours. Buddhism doesn't say you are broken. It says you're simply unaware of your true self. That the emptiness you feel is not failure. It's a message. A message telling you something isn't aligned. And the beautiful part? You don't need to escape the world to fix it. You only need to begin understanding it. In this journey, we will not fill your life with noise. We will help you clear the noise. We'll talk about suffering, yes, but also peace. We'll look at desire, yes, but also freedom. Slowly, gently, one truth at a time. This is not just a video. It's a quiet hand reaching out to say, you are not alone. The illusion of fulfillment. Why we chase what fades. There was once a man who believed that happiness was just one step away. If I get this job, if I buy that house, if I marry this person, if I go on that trip, then I will finally be happy. So he chased those things. And each time he reached one, he smiled, but only for a little while. Then the emptiness returned, and he wondered why. He is not alone. Almost all people live like this. They are running towards something that keeps moving farther away. And they don't stop to ask, is what I'm chasing even real? Today, I will tell you gently, most of what we chase in life is an illusion. It appears real. It shines. It tempts. But when we finally touch it, it slips through our fingers like smoke. And then we chase the next thing, and the next, and the next. The Buddha called this samsara, the endless cycle of craving and suffering. We want something. We work hard to get it. We finally get it. We feel happy for a while. Then it fades. Then we feel empty. Then we want something else. This is the trap. This is the illusion. A Zen Master once asked his student, what is more painful than not getting what you want? The student replied, I don't know, Master. The Master smiled, getting what you want and realizing it didn't fulfill you. Let's reflect on this together. Have you ever bought a new phone and felt so excited? You couldn't wait to open the box. It felt special. But after a few weeks, it became just another object in your hand. The thrill faded. And now you want the next phone. This is not wrong. It is just how the mind works when it is not awake. Buddhism teaches that desire is not bad in itself. But unconscious desire leads to suffering. You see, we keep believing that the next thing will complete us. But in truth, nothing outside can fix what's missing inside. People chase money, thinking it will bring peace. But they end up more anxious than ever. People chase love, hoping it will heal them. But their emptiness turns into attachment. People chase fame, wanting to be seen. But being seen does not mean being known or loved. Why do we do this? Because we believe in the illusion of fulfillment. We think we are empty because we don't have something. But we are empty because we have forgotten who we really are. A full life is not made by collecting things. It is made by letting go of the things that don't matter. A Zen story tells of a monk who carried a heavy bag. He walked up a mountain, tired and sweating. An old man saw him and asked, why don't you put it down? The monk stopped, surprised. Then he smiled and dropped the bag. He had been carrying it without even thinking. This is how most of us live. We carry unnecessary burdens. We chase unnecessary goals. We hold on to ideas, memories, regrets, expectations that make life heavy. Ask yourself, what are you chasing right now? Why do you want it? What do you believe it will give you? If the answer is peace, love, or happiness, then remember, these things do not come from outside. They are already within you. But to see them clearly, you must stop chasing shadows. In Buddhism, there's a teaching called the three poisons: greed, hatred, and delusion. These are the roots of suffering. And chasing fulfillment from the world is often a mix of all three. We want more greed, we resist what is hatred, and we believe lies about happiness, delusion. To wake up from the illusion, we must sit still and look deeply. Instead of chasing, we pause. Instead of reacting, we observe. Instead of grasping, we breathe. What happens then? We begin to see that life is beautiful, not because of what we gain, but because of what we can appreciate. A bowl of rice, the sound of rain, a kind word, a quiet moment. These are not exciting, but they are real, and they are enough. The Buddha did not have luxury. He gave it up, and in his simplicity, he found something far greater: clarity, peace, and truth. You do not need to escape the world. You just need to escape the illusion. The next time you feel empty, don't ask, "What can I get?" Ask instead, "What can I release?" Maybe it's a desire. Maybe it's an expectation. Maybe it's a belief that your life should look a certain way. When we stop chasing, we start noticing. And when we notice what's already here, we find that the emptiness begins to soften. You see, the illusion fades not with effort, but with stillness. A Zen Master once said, "Happiness is not something you find. It is something you stop running from." So be still today, just for a while. Notice your breath. Notice the space around you. Let go of the next thing. And just be. You're already whole. You just forgot. But now, you remember the first noble truth, embracing the reality of suffering. Sit down, dear one. Let the world slow down for a moment. Let the noise settle. Take a breath, long and deep. You've come far. You've asked questions. And now, you're ready to hear something many people run from: the truth of suffering. But don't be afraid. Truth is never here to hurt you. It's here to free you. Let's begin. In the teachings of the Buddha, the very first truth he shared after his awakening was this: life has suffering. This is called the first noble truth, dukkha. It sounds heavy, doesn't it? But it's not meant to make you feel worse. It's the start of understanding why you feel how you feel and how to find your way through it. You see, suffering doesn't just mean pain. It's not just about crying or being sick or losing something. Suffering also hides in everyday life. It hides in the moment you get what you wanted and still don't feel satisfied. It hides in change, in growing old, in being unsure, in not getting your way. It's that quiet ache in the background of your busy life. That feeling that something is always just a little off. Even happiness can bring suffering, strange as it sounds. Why? Because we're afraid it won't last, or it doesn't feel like enough, or it fades too soon. That's suffering too. Now listen closely. Buddhism doesn't tell us this to make us sad. The Buddha didn't point out suffering to scare us. He did it to wake us up, to show us where the pain is coming from, so we can stop feeding it. Imagine you're walking with a stone in your shoe. You feel the pain every step you take. You might get angry at the road, or the sun, or your tired legs. But the pain won't stop until you pause, take off your shoe, and remove the stone. That's what the first noble truth is. It's you finally stopping, taking off your shoe, and looking at the stone. No more pretending. No more blaming others. No more escaping. Just truth. There is suffering, and that's okay. You are not weak because you feel lost. You are not broken because you hurt. In fact, this feeling of emptiness, this quiet pain, it's a signal. It's the door. When we begin to see this suffering clearly, we stop being its victim. We become aware, and that awareness changes everything. Buddha didn't say, "You must never suffer." He said, "Understand suffering." That's the difference. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. Now look at your life gently. Think of the moments when you were disappointed. Think of the times you tried your best, and it still didn't work. The relationships that faded. The dreams that didn't come true. the loneliness even when surrounded by people. All of that, it's part of being human. But you are not alone in this. Everyone you see, even the ones who smile the brightest, carry their own suffering, the silent struggles, the private pain. We all walk through life with a shadow. Knowing this brings softness, compassion, patience. The first noble truth teaches us not to deny pain, but to understand it. That is the beginning of healing. Let me tell you a small story. There was once a young woman who lost her child. She was in deep grief and went to the Buddha, begging him to bring her child back to life. The Buddha said he would help, but only if she could find a house that had never known death. She went from door to door, asking. And every house, every person had faced loss. In that journey, she realized her pain was not unique. Her suffering was shared by all. And slowly, she found peace. This is the heart of Buddhism. Not magical cures, but deep understanding. So next time you feel empty or confused, don't push it away. Sit with it. Look at it. Ask gently, what are you trying to tell me? The pain you feel has roots. And when you see those roots, you can begin to care for them. Just like a gardener tends to the soil. Sometimes, life is like holding sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when you open your palm and allow the sand to rest, it stays. In the same way, peace comes when we stop fighting what is and start accepting it with calm awareness. Now remember, this is only the beginning. The first noble truth simply asks you to see, to stop running and just see. To admit, yes, there is pain, there is confusion, there is suffering in life. But once you've seen the truth, you are no longer blind. You can take your next step with wisdom. And that, dear one, is everything. You don't need to have all the answers now. Just stay awake. Watch how your thoughts move. Notice how your emotions rise and fall. Become aware of the patterns. That is meditation. That is the start of freedom. Life will still bring its storms. But now, you are learning how to stand in the rain without drowning. So today, let's not run from pain. Let's sit beside it and listen. Let's honor it as our teacher, not our enemy. Let it open our hearts, not close them. This is the first noble truth, and it's not the end. It's the beginning of waking up. The next part will guide you further on this path. But for now, sit quietly for a moment. Let the truth rest in your heart like a gentle flame. Let it burn away the fear of suffering. You've seen the stone in the shoe, and now you're ready to remove it. Let's walk on, together, silencing the noise, the practice of inner stillness. Sit down, dear one. Let your shoulders relax. Let the weight of the day fall gently off your back. There is no rush here. No noise. Just this moment and you breathing. The world is very loud today. Have you noticed? Everyone is talking, but no one is really listening. Everyone is scrolling, but no one is really seeing. From morning to night, the mind is pulled in so many directions, like a leaf tossed around in a storm. News, messages, pressure, deadlines, worries, all this chatter, all this noise. And in the middle of it, there you are, trying to find peace. But peace cannot live in a noisy mind. It hides when there is too much talking, too much chasing, too much thinking. To find peace, we must learn the art of silence. The kind of silence that is not empty, but full. Full of life, full of awareness, full of truth. In Buddhism, silence is not just the absence of words. It is the presence of awareness. It is being fully here, fully now, without letting the outside world control your inside world. And this silence begins when we stop chasing every thought that comes into our mind. You see, most people live like this. A thought appears, what if I fail? And immediately they believe it, chase it, worry about it. Another thought says, they don't like me, and suddenly the heart tightens. The mind runs with every story it makes up, never questioning it. But what if you just let the thought pass? What if you didn't follow it? What if you didn't believe every voice in your head? This is the beginning of stillness. Stillness is not something we create. It's already inside you, but it is covered like a mirror hidden behind fog. To see clearly again, you don't need to add anything. You only need to wipe away what's covering it. In Zen, we say, the sound of the bell cannot be heard until the wind stops. That means truth cannot be heard until the mind is quiet. And to quiet the mind, we must practice being present. Right here, right now. Take this moment, for example. You are sitting, reading these words. Can you feel your breath going in and out? Can you feel your feet touching the ground? That is presence. That is stillness. And it doesn't need effort. It only needs awareness. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing in life. It means doing everything with peace inside. You can walk with stillness, work with stillness, speak with stillness. Because stillness is not a place, it's a way of being. But first, you must learn to be alone with yourself. Most people fear silence. They run from it. They turn on music, TV, phones, anything to avoid meeting their own mind. But you must be brave. Sit in silence. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, stay. Watch your thoughts come and go. Don't fight them. Don't follow them. Just watch. At first, it will feel noisy. Thoughts will scream. Emotions will rise. That is normal. You are finally hearing what's been inside you all along. But if you stay, if you keep breathing, something magical will happen. The mind will begin to slow down. Like muddy water settling in a bowl, your thoughts will become clearer, calmer. And one day, in that silence, you will hear something gentle. A soft voice, not from the outside, but from your own heart. And it will say something like, I'm still here. That is your true self. It has been waiting beneath all the noise. We practice meditation not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. We sit still so that the mind can return to its natural state, peaceful, open, free. In Buddhism, we call it shamatha, the practice of calm abiding. Just being with what is. Not trying to change, fix, or judge it. When you sit each day, even for 5 minutes, you are training the mind to come home. Like a dog that runs wild, but slowly learns to sit beside you. The mind, too, will learn to rest. But do not rush. Stillness is not a prize you win. It is a garden you grow. Each breath you take in awareness is like watering that garden. Some days the soil feels dry. Some days it rains. But if you keep tending it gently, something beautiful will grow. Also, remember this. Silence is not only for meditation. It is for life. You can eat in silence, walk in silence, even wash dishes in silence. Not without sound, but without distraction. Fully present with what you're doing. This way, silence becomes a companion. It walks with you. It teaches you to see more, feel more, need less. And slowly, the emptiness you once felt begins to fill, not with noise, but with presence. The Zen Master once said, "When I eat, I eat. When I walk, I walk. When I sleep, I sleep." Simple words, yet deep. He is not distracted. He is not living in the future or the past. He is here. That is stillness. And in that stillness, something incredible happens. Your suffering becomes lighter. Your anger softens. Your worries shrink. Not because the world changed, but because your way of seeing it did. You no longer react to everything. You respond with awareness. You no longer drown in your thoughts. You float above them. You become like the calm lake that reflects the sky, clear, deep, and beautiful. So I say to you, dear one, don't fear the silence. Make friends with it. Sit with it. Trust it. In a noisy world, silence is a superpower. In a confused world, stillness is clarity. When life feels loud and heavy, return to your breath. When your mind spins with worry, return to your breath. When you feel lost, return to your breath. Your breath is always here. It never leaves you. It is your anchor, your home. And remember, you are not the noise. You are not the storm. You are the sky beneath it all, wide, silent, peaceful. Now close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. The world can wait. For now, just be here. Just be. The silence will teach you what words never can. Detachment. Letting go without losing yourself. In the quiet moments when the world slows down, we all face one truth. Most of our pain comes from holding on too tightly. We hold on to people. We hold on to things. We hold on to dreams that didn't come true. We hold on to the version of ourselves that no longer fits. And in all this holding on, we forget to breathe. A student once came to me with tears in her eyes. She said, Master, I gave my all to someone and they left. I cannot let go. I smiled gently and asked her, if you held fire in your hand, would you be brave to let go? She nodded. I said, then why do you hold on to a memory that burns you every day? Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you learn to care in a peaceful way. It means you stop chasing things outside and start resting inside. Many people think letting go means becoming cold or distant, but that's not true. True detachment means being so full inside that you don't need to cling outside. Let me tell you something very simple. Everything changes. No matter how hard you try, you cannot stop change. People grow. Seasons turn. Bodies age. Emotions shift. To try and control all this is like trying to hold water in your hands. It always slips away. But Buddhism teaches a beautiful truth. Impermanence is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. When you accept that nothing stays the same, you begin to live in the moment. You begin to love without fear. You begin to experience joy without trying to capture it. So how do we practice detachment in daily life? First, observe your attachments. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to lose? Is it a relationship, a job, a dream, a title? Whatever it is, look at it gently. Not with judgment, just with awareness. Second, remind yourself, this too shall pass. If it brings you pain, it will fade. If it brings you joy, it too will move. Nothing is yours to own forever, but everything is yours to experience fully in the now. Third, practice letting go in small ways. Clean your room. Give away old clothes. Unfollow people who disturb your peace. Sit in silence without your phone for 10 minutes. Notice how the mind resists. And just watch it. Letting go is not a one-time thing. It's a practice, a daily reminder, a gentle whisper that says, you don't need to carry all this. You are enough without it. Some people think detachment means being emotionless, but true detachment brings deeper emotions, not shallow highs and lows, but calm rivers of joy, kindness, and balance. Look at the lotus flower. It grows in muddy water, yet it rises untouched. That is you. You live in a world full of chaos, but you can rise above it, not by fighting it, but by not being owned by it. There's a story of a monk who carried a woman across a river. Later, his young companion said, Master, we monks are not supposed to touch women. Why did you carry her? The old monk smiled and replied, I left her by the river. Are you still carrying her? So many of us carry stories long after they are over. We carry insults from years ago. We carry guilt, regret, and shame. But the truth is, the past is over. It lives only in your memory. You are the one keeping it alive. What if you dropped it today? What would it feel like to be free? When you practice detachment, you begin to move lightly in the world. You laugh easily. You cry freely. You give your best, but you are not broken when things fall apart. This doesn't make you less human. It makes you more present. Buddha once said, you only lose what you cling to. Think deeply about this. If you stop clinging, nothing is truly lost. Love becomes pure. Work becomes joyful. Relationships become honest. When we expect nothing, we can appreciate everything. A tree gives shade, fruit, and beauty, but it asks for nothing. It lets go of its leaves every autumn without fear. It trusts that spring will come again. This is the way of detachment. But detachment is not escape. It's not about leaving your family, quitting your job, or moving to the mountains. It's about doing everything with love, but not needing everything to go your way. When you are detached, you are free to love fully without fear of loss. You are free to fail without it hurting your self-worth. You are free to be alone without feeling lonely. And in that freedom, you find peace. Remember, my dear one, you don't need to push things away. Just stop pulling them in with fear and need. Let them come. Let them go. And stay still like the deep ocean. You're not your thoughts. You're not your past. You're not your pain. You are the sky. And everything else is just the weather. So breathe. Relax your grip. And trust that everything you need is already within you. That detachment is not about walking away from life, but walking into it with light feet, clear eyes, and an open heart. This is how you begin to let go, without losing yourself. This is the way of peace. This is the path of the Buddha. This is the way home. The middle way, balance beyond extremes. Sit with me for a moment. Let the world slow down. Let the noise fade. Let the rush pause. Now listen deeply. Many people live in the fire or the ice. They either burn themselves with desires or freeze themselves with fear. They chase too much or they avoid everything. They're always swinging, from extreme effort to extreme exhaustion, from overthinking to giving up completely. They eat too much or they eat nothing. They work too hard or they do nothing at all. Have you seen this in others? Have you seen it in yourself? This is how suffering is born, not only from pain, but from imbalance. The Buddha understood this very well. He had lived in a palace where he had every comfort, golden beds, sweet music, delicious food, and servants for every need. Yet he was not happy. Then he became a wandering monk and tried the path of deep suffering. He starved himself, tortured his body, meditated until his bones showed. But even then, peace didn't come. Finally, one day, sitting by a river, he heard a musician teach a student. If the string is too tight, the teacher said, it will break. If the string is too loose, it will not play. But if the string is balanced, not too tight, not too loose, it will make beautiful music. And just like that, the Buddha understood. The way to peace is not in extremes. It is in balance. This is the middle way. The middle way is not boring. It is wise. It doesn't mean living without feeling. It means feeling deeply, but not being ruled by those feelings. It means eating, but not overeating. It means resting, but not becoming lazy. It means working, but not destroying your health for success. It means caring for others, but not forgetting yourself. Think of your life like a lamp. If the flame is too high, it burns everything. If it's too low, it goes out. But when the flame is steady, it lights the room. The middle way is the steady flame. Now, you may ask, but how do I find this balance in my own life? Let me show you, slowly, step by step. First, look at your desires. What do you run after every day? Is it money, attention, likes, or pleasure? There is nothing wrong with these things. But when they control you, they become chains. Ask yourself, can I be happy without this? If the answer is no, then it is not something you own. It owns you. Second, look at your fears. What do you avoid? What do you hide from? Are you afraid of failure, rejection, being alone? These fears push you into imbalance. You avoid action, and that brings regret. Or you force yourself into uncomfortable roles just to please others. Neither path leads to peace. Third, watch your speech. Do you talk too much and say things that hurt? Or do you stay silent even when truth is needed? The middle way means speaking with kindness and wisdom. Not too much, not too little. Enough to bring clarity and compassion. Fourth, see how you treat your body. Some people punish their body to reach a goal. Long hours, no rest, bad food. Others neglect it and say, it doesn't matter. But your body is your temple, your tool, your garden. Don't worship it, but don't destroy it either. Sleep well. Eat clean. Move daily. Respect the vehicle that carries your spirit. Fifth, balance your mind. Do you keep running thoughts like a never-ending movie? Or do you avoid thinking and numb yourself with entertainment? Both paths are tiring. The middle way is awareness without obsession. You don't have to solve everything today. You just have to observe, understand, and respond with calm. Balance is a skill. It is not natural for many, but with practice, it becomes easier. Let me tell you a story. Once a young man came to me and said, Master, I want to be perfect. I want to meditate for 10 hours every day, eat only fruits, and leave all pleasure behind. I smiled and said, why not start with 10 minutes of stillness, a bowl of rice, and one kind act each day? He frowned. That's not enough. That's too small. But months later, he returned, exhausted, thin, and angry. He had tried too hard. He had broken the string. He couldn't keep up with his own expectations. So I helped him begin again, simply, gently, slowly. Now he is peaceful. Not perfect, but peaceful. Because perfection is heavy, but peace is light. In this life, you will always be pulled by desires, by fears, by emotions, by expectations. The middle way is not the easy path. It is the steady one. When everyone is running left or right, you walk straight. Calm, aware, free. It doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you don't let your dreams burn you. It doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you love with open hands. It doesn't mean you have no ambition. It means ambition doesn't eat your soul. The middle way is a way of walking, step by step, breath by breath. It asks you to check in with yourself every day. Am I too tight today? Am I too loose today? Can I find a center again? You don't need a mountain to practice this. You can begin in your kitchen, your office, your bus stop. Balance your tone, balance your reactions, balance your effort. Not always perfectly, but always gently. Remember, a tree doesn't grow by force. It grows by balance, sunlight and shade, rain and dryness, stillness and storm. You too are that tree. Be patient with your roots. And one day, without pushing, without rushing, you will find that your life has become music. Not too loud, not too quiet, just right. This is the middle way. Walk it, and you will not feel empty. Walk it, and you will not fall. Walk it, and you will find peace, not in some faraway place, but right where you are. The power of mindfulness, returning to the present. When life feels empty, many people try to fill the void with things outside themselves. They look for happiness in the past, hoping memories will comfort them. Or they run after the future, chasing dreams and plans that seem just out of reach. But these attempts often fail because the true source of peace is not in the past or future. It is right here, right now. The practice of mindfulness, taught deeply in Buddhism, helps one return to this very moment. Mindfulness means being fully present, not distracted by what was or what might be, but aware of what is. It is as simple as noticing your breath, your body, or the sound around you. But this simple act can change everything. Imagine a lake. When the wind blows, the surface ripples and disturbs the water. But beneath those waves, the water remains calm and still. Mindfulness is like diving below the surface, into the calm, quiet place inside you. When you are mindful, you stop chasing restless thoughts and start observing them. This observation is powerful. It helps you understand your mind instead of being controlled by it. Many people feel empty because their minds are filled with worries, regrets, or desires. These thoughts take energy and attention, leaving little space for peace. Mindfulness teaches that these thoughts are not you. They are like clouds passing through the sky. You can watch them without holding on. To begin practicing mindfulness, one does not need to sit for hours or meditate in a special place. It can start with something as simple as paying attention to your breath for a few seconds. Feel the air coming in and going out. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. This small focus can help break the cycle of endless thinking. When life feels empty, it often means the mind is scattered, caught in stories about what should be or what once was. Mindfulness brings the mind back to the present. This return is like a gentle homecoming, where you find yourself in the simplest way. Just being. Breathing is a great teacher. It is always with you, always available. When feelings of emptiness or sadness rise, returning to the breath can be an anchor. It helps you feel grounded and connected to life. The Buddha taught that the present moment is all we ever really have. The past is gone, and the future is not yet here. By holding tightly to what no longer exists or what is yet to come, we lose the beauty of the now. Mindfulness is a doorway to that beauty. Practicing mindfulness can also help you notice small joys often missed in busy life. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of birds outside, the taste of your food. These simple moments hold peace. When you open your heart to the present, life no longer feels empty because it is filled with richness waiting quietly. One may wonder, how can simply paying attention change deep feelings of emptiness? The answer lies in the power of awareness. Awareness changes your relationship with your thoughts and feelings. Instead of being overwhelmed by emptiness, you begin to see it as something temporary, like clouds passing through the sky. Sometimes, mindfulness reveals that emptiness is not a bad thing. In Buddhism, emptiness can mean freedom. Freedom from clinging, from fixed ideas, from suffering. When you see emptiness with new eyes, it is no longer something to fear, but something to explore. Another helpful practice is mindful walking. Instead of rushing through steps, try walking slowly, noticing each foot touching the ground. Feel the connection between your body and the earth. This slow walking brings the mind to the present, calming it. Mindfulness is also about kindness, being gentle with yourself when difficult emotions arise. When emptiness feels heavy, don't push it away or criticize yourself. Instead, acknowledge it with compassion, understanding that it is part of your human experience. You might notice that as you practice mindfulness, moments of peace grow longer. The mind becomes less restless and more clear. This clarity allows you to see your life more honestly, including the parts that feel empty. With clarity, you can begin to make choices that nourish your spirit instead of draining it. It is important to remember that mindfulness is a journey, not a quick fix. Some days will be easier, some harder. Like any skill, it grows stronger with practice. Even a few mindful breaths each day can slowly transform your experience of life. In moments of emptiness, try asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where in my body do I notice this feeling? Can I breathe into this space with kindness? These simple questions help you stay connected to the present and build a peaceful inner world. Mindfulness also teaches acceptance. Instead of fighting against emptiness or trying to force happiness, you learn to accept things as they are. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means understanding reality without unnecessary struggle. When you accept the present moment, you free yourself from the exhausting battle with life. This freedom opens space for genuine happiness to arise naturally, like sunlight after a cloudy day. Through mindfulness, the emptiness in life can transform from a heavy weight to a clear space for growth. This space allows new possibilities, new understanding, and new peace to emerge. Many people find that as they practice mindfulness, their connection to others deepens. When you are present with yourself, you can be more fully present with friends, family, and strangers. This connection fills life with meaning beyond material things. You don't have to be alone in your practice. Buddhist communities often gather to meditate and support each other in mindfulness. Finding others who walk the path can bring encouragement and strength. Remember, mindfulness is not about controlling or changing your thoughts. It is about seeing them clearly and letting them flow naturally. This gentle watching breaks the power of negative patterns that deepen emptiness. Over time, mindfulness helps you discover your true nature, calm, wise, and compassionate. This discovery is the greatest gift when life feels empty. So, when emptiness arises, don't run away. Instead, turn inward with mindfulness. Breathe, observe, accept, and let the present moment hold you. In this simple act of returning to now, the power of mindfulness reveals itself, a power to heal, to awaken, and to fill the hollow within. Compassion as a cure, healing through kindness. When life feels empty, the first thing people often do is look inside and ask, what is wrong with me? But today, I want to tell you something very different. The answer may not be just inside you. It may be waiting in the space between you and others. Let me explain. When a person feels hollow, it is like their heart has become a cold, silent room. And no matter how much they try to fill it with noise, with things, with scrolling, with distractions, the silence returns. The coldness stays. But there is something that warms this space, something that brings life back into the heart. That something is compassion. You see, compassion is not a theory. It is not just feeling sorry for someone. True compassion is when your heart softens. It is when you pause your own thoughts and see another, not as a problem, not as a stranger, but as a fellow traveler through the storm. Buddha taught that all beings suffer. Every single person you see is carrying a burden you cannot always see. Some wear smiles to hide it. Some carry anger to cover it. But behind the faces, there is pain, just like yours. And if you can feel this, truly feel it, something magical happens. Your own pain becomes lighter. Why? Because compassion melts the walls around your own suffering. When you connect with someone else's pain, your heart opens. And when the heart opens, the emptiness loses its grip. Let me give you a very simple example. There was once a woman who lived alone. She had no family left, and every day she sat in silence, eating her meals without speaking a word. Her life was small, her world was quiet. One day, she saw a stray dog outside her house. It was shaking, hungry, and scared. She took it in, gave it food, warmth, and a name. She spoke to it, cared for it, and for the first time in many years, she felt alive again. Nothing else changed in her life. Not her income, not her location. Only one thing changed. She cared. That care lit a fire in her heart. That fire was compassion. Now imagine, if a small act like that can bring warmth to one person, what can many acts of compassion do? This is the secret. When we live only for ourselves, the world feels tight, limited, and empty. But when we open the door to others, when we listen to someone's pain, help them in small ways, or even just sit with them silently, our own emptiness begins to dissolve. The Buddha once said, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. So let us not forget, compassion must also flow inward. How you speak to yourself when you make a mistake. Do you call yourself names? Do you silently judge your own feelings? Many people do. But would you speak to a friend like that? No. You would offer kindness. You would offer space. So why not offer the same to yourself? Begin by noticing the words you use when you are alone. Are they kind? Are they patient? If not, this is your starting point. Say to yourself gently, I'm doing my best. I deserve kindness. I am learning. You're not weak for needing care. You are human. Sometimes, the path to peace is not by meditating more, or reading more, or achieving more. Sometimes it is simply sitting with your own pain, holding it gently, and saying, it's okay. From this gentle ground, compassion for others naturally rises. Now, let me share another story. A young man once came to a Zen Master. He said, Master, I feel so empty. I feel invisible. I feel like I don't matter. The Master handed him a cup of tea and said, go out today and help 3 people without expecting anything in return. Then come back tomorrow. The next day, the young man returned. He said, I helped an old man cross the road. I paid for a stranger's tea. I listened to a friend cry without interrupting. Master, I feel different. The Master smiled and said, yes, because in helping others, you found yourself. This is not magic. This is compassion. You do not need to be rich. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be wise. All you need is the willingness to see someone else's pain and to sit beside it even for a moment. You may not be able to fix their problems, but your presence, your kindness, your stillness can be more healing than you know. Now, let's talk about a practice you can do every day. Each morning, when you wake up, take a few minutes to sit quietly. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe slowly, and then ask yourself, who needs kindness today? It could be a friend, a stranger, or even you. Then, carry that thought into your day. Let guide one small action. It can be a smile, a kind message, a patient silence, a shared meal. These acts may seem small, but in the world of the heart, they are powerful. Some people think the world is cold, but often it's not the world, it's the disconnection that feels cold. Compassion is the bridge back to warmth. It is the medicine that heals both the giver and the receiver. The Buddha said, thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. So do not be afraid to light your candle. Do not wait until you are perfect to care. Care now as you are. Give now as you are. Love now as you are. And slowly, you will see the emptiness that haunted you will start to soften. Your world will no longer feel small. It will feel alive. Because compassion, true, quiet, steady compassion, is the heartbeat of a meaningful life. And in the rhythm of that heartbeat, you will hear something beautiful. You are never truly alone. The role of desire, from craving to contentment. There's a small flame that lives inside every human heart. This flame is called desire. It starts as a spark, a gentle wish. I want to be happy. I want more peace. I want love. These are natural, soft, innocent desires. But slowly, without us noticing, this little spark can turn into a fire that burns everything around it. Desire is not your enemy, but it can become one if you don't know how to walk with it. It's like holding a sharp sword. In the hands of the wise, it protects. In the hands of the unaware, it wounds. Buddhism does not teach you to kill desire. It teaches you to understand it, to see it, to listen to it, and to transform it. Let me tell you a story. A young man once came to the Buddha and said, "I want happiness." The Buddha gently replied, "First, remove that's ego. Then remove want. That's desire. What remains is happiness." These words are simple, yet they cut deep. Our pain often does not come from what we lack, but from what we keep wanting. The wanting itself becomes a prison. We run behind things, money, people, praise, thinking that once we catch them, we'll be happy. But even when we get them, the joy fades quickly, and we begin to crave something else. Have you noticed this in your own life? You buy a new phone. For 2 days, you're excited. Then you forget about it. You get lots of likes on a photo. You smile. But next time you want more. You meet someone who makes you feel special. But over time, the magic fades and you wonder, what's next? This is the nature of desire. It never ends. Like pouring water into a pot with a hole. No matter how much you fill it, it keeps leaking. And so, you remain thirsty. But the Zen way is different. It does not tell you to stop drinking water. It tells you to fix the hole. The Buddha said, craving is the root of suffering. But he also taught that freedom from craving is possible. This freedom is not found in a forest, nor in a cave. It is found in the way you look at your desires. Let's take a small pause. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what do I really desire right now? It could be peace, love, attention, rest, success, anything. Now ask, will this desire bring lasting joy or just temporary relief? You'll start noticing that many of our cravings are like sugar water. They taste good for a moment, but they don't nourish. The more we drink it, the more tired we feel. So what's the solution? We must learn the art of wise desire. Yes, desire can be wise. Desiring to grow, to heal, to understand, to serve others. These are not harmful. These are noble desires. In Buddhism, this is called chanda, the wholesome desire. It is different from tanha, which is the craving that leads to suffering. Chanda motivates you to walk the path. Tanha pulls you into the storm. So, how do we turn tanha into chanda? First, we pause before we act. The moment desire arises, instead of jumping, we observe. Like a calm lake reflecting the moon, we watch the desire in silence. Ask, where is this desire coming from? Is it born from fear? From loneliness? From ego? If the desire comes from fear, it will hurt you later. If it comes from love, it will guide you. Second, we practice gratitude. The more thankful you are for what you have, the less you chase what you don't. Gratitude is like cool water on the fire of craving. It cools the mind and opens the heart. Every morning, say softly, I already have enough, and feel it. Third, we meditate. In silence, we learn to separate needs from wants. The mind becomes clear. We stop chasing clouds and start seeing the sky. Fourth, we simplify. The more things you collect, the more you carry. But in Zen, we walk light. We let go, not because we hate things, but because we love peace more. Look around you. How many things are there that you don't need? Look inside you. How many thoughts are there that don't help? Let go, not all at once, but slowly, gently. Desire also lives in our relationships. We want others to treat us a certain way, love us in a certain way, always agree with us. This is also desire. And when they don't meet our expectations, we suffer. But here's a truth. People are not here to serve your desires. They are here to live their own path. The more you try to control, the more you hurt. Instead, allow others to be who they are. Love without holding. Give without expecting. Be kind without needing reward. This is how desire becomes compassion. Another way to transform desire is through service. When you give to others, your time, your ear, your care, your own cravings start to fade. You feel full, not because you received, but because you gave. In Zen, this is called selfless action. Now let's talk about ambition. Is it wrong to dream big? No. Wanting to build, to create, to grow, this is not bad. But why you want it, that matters. If you chase success to prove others wrong, to gain attention, to feel superior, it will not satisfy you. But if your ambition comes from a place of creativity, of sharing your gift, of helping others, then your work becomes a joy, not a burden. In Zen, we say, when the flower blooms, the bees come. You don't need to chase. Just focus on blooming. Lastly, remember this. Contentment is not the enemy of growth. You can grow while being content. You can dream without craving. You can act without attachment. This is the middle path. Not too tight, not too loose, not burning with desire, not frozen with indifference, but warm, awake, alive. The great Zen Master Dogen said, "To study the self is to forget the self. To forget the self is to be awakened by all things." When you forget your little self, your ego, your cravings, you become open to the whole world. Trees speak. Winds sing. Silence hugs you. Life no longer feels empty because you're no longer grasping. You're simply being. So walk gently, dear soul. Desire will come. Let it come. But greet it like a guest, not a master. Let it sit. Let it speak. Then let it go. And in that letting go, you will find a peace so deep, so quiet, it no longer needs to be filled. Because the emptiness is no longer empty. It has become your home, building inner refuge, turning inward for strength. When the world outside becomes too heavy, where do you go? When people disappoint you, when your plans break, when you feel tired without knowing why, where do you find your shelter? Most people run outward. They look for someone to talk to, something to buy, or somewhere to go. They try to change their job, their phone, their friends. But what if I told you the safest and strongest place is already within you? Let me tell you a small story. There was once a little bird who built her nest on the branch of a tree. Every morning she flew out, searched for food, and came back before sunset. One day a storm came. The wind was wild. The tree shook terribly. Branches fell, but the bird sat still in her nest, calm, steady, peaceful. Why? Because she had made her nest strong. She had placed it in the deepest fork of the tree, away from the outer tips. She had woven it with care, with grass and twigs she trusted. So even when the storm screamed around her, she remained untouched. That is what building inner refuge means. A safe, strong nest inside your heart. In Buddhism, we are taught that no true peace can come from outside. Not from money, not from praise, not even from love if it is clung to. Everything outside is like the weather. It changes. And if your peace depends on the weather, then your life becomes a storm. So, the first step to building inner refuge is pausing. Yes, just pause. In a world that keeps running, the most powerful thing you can do is stop, even if for a minute. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Just notice what's happening inside. Not judging, not fixing, just being with yourself. Like sitting beside a tired friend, silently, kindly. Most people avoid silence. Why? Because in silence, they begin to hear themselves. And what they hear is often uncomfortable. Regret, fear, sadness, emptiness. But silence is not the enemy. Silence is the doorway. The silence you avoid is the very place your strength is hiding. A Zen master once said, "When you sit quietly, you begin to hear the sound of your own soul." Inner refuge is built on truth. Not outside truth, but your truth. It is asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? What do I really need? Why does this situation hurt me so deeply? And instead of running away, you sit with those questions. You let the answers rise like bubbles in still water. Sometimes, your heart will whisper something you don't expect. I'm lonely. I feel not enough. I miss who I used to be. These words are not weakness. These are the bricks of your inner home. Each time you hear your heart and do not run, you build. Now, let's talk about self-trust. Many people seek others' opinions before listening to their own. They want validation, agreement, applause. But true refuge means trusting your inner compass. It means believing that your feelings are valid, that your intuition is wise, and that even if you don't have all the answers now, you're learning, growing, evolving. To build this trust, begin with small acts. Wake up and ask, what do I need today to feel alive? Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's saying no. Maybe it's simply drinking water and breathing. Do that. Honor that. That's how you teach your soul that you are listening. And the more you listen, the more your soul speaks. Another practice in Buddhism is metta, loving kindness. Not just to others, but to yourself. When you are tired, don't scold yourself. When you make a mistake, don't punish yourself. When you feel broken, don't try to glue the pieces quickly. Instead, place a warm hand on your heart. Literally. Breathe. Say to yourself, I'm here for you. Like a mother to a child. This is the gentleness that builds unshakable strength. A temple is not strong because it is made of stone. It is strong because it holds silence, purpose, and sacredness inside. You too are a living temple. But if your temple is filled only with noise, outside opinions, and constant doing, it will feel hollow. Make space. Clean the inside. Light a candle of attention. That's how the inner refuge begins to glow. You don't need fancy rituals. You don't need hours of meditation. You just need presence. When you drink tea, drink it fully. Feel the warmth. Taste the leaf. Be there. When you walk, notice the steps, the air, the sounds. When you are with someone, be truly with them, not thinking of the next thing. All these little acts are stones in the foundation of your inner home. Another secret, forgiveness. Many of us carry pain not from today, but from years ago. Someone hurt us. We hurt ourselves. We made choices we regret. And these wounds become cracks in our inner temple. But forgiveness is the gold that fills the cracks. In Japan, there's an art called kintsugi. When a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. They repair it with gold. The cracks become beautiful. The brokenness becomes the story. You can do this with your life, too. Don't hide your wounds. Heal them with love. Make them art. When you accept yourself fully, your past, your pain, your path, then you become whole. Then you are not afraid of the world because you are no longer at war with yourself. Let's remember this. Nothing outside you can give you peace if you don't feel peace inside. And once you have peace inside, nothing outside can take it away. People may leave. Jobs may change. Seasons will pass. But if your home is strong, you will always have a place to return to, no matter where you are. This is the meaning of inner refuge. So, sit quietly for a moment after this. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your chest. And whisper to yourself, I am here. I am enough. I am building a home inside me that nothing can shake. That is the way of the Zen path. That is the way of true strength. And you, dear soul, are already on it, living with purpose, dharma over distraction. Sit down, my friend. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. Feel it flow in and out. Now listen carefully. In this world, people run all day long. They wake up with their eyes on their phones. They rush to work, chase success, scroll through apps, compare lives, and before they know it, the day is gone. Another sunset wasted. Another night with the same question in their heart. What am I really doing with my life? This feeling, the quiet ache in your chest, it's not random. It's not a weakness. It is your soul whispering, there must be something more. You're not here just to survive. You are here to live with meaning. You are here to discover your dharma. In Buddhism, dharma means the path of truth. It is not a job, a title, or a routine. It is the deeper reason behind your steps. It is your guiding light when life feels dark. It is the river that flows underneath all the noise, waiting for you to hear it. Let me tell you something. Most people don't live their dharma. They live by pressure. They do what others expect. They follow the crowd. They believe the lie that success is having more things, more praise, more followers. But that is not purpose. That is distraction wearing a nice suit. Purpose is not found in the future. It is found right now, in how you speak, in how you treat others, in how you take care of your mind, your body, your thoughts. Purpose is not a big dream you wait for. It is the small truth you live each day. There was once a young man who came to me. He said, "Master, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in life." I asked him, "What brings you peace when you do it?" He said, "I like helping people, but it feels too small." I smiled. Helping even one person is not small. It is Dharma in action. You see, your Dharma may not be loud. It may not come with applause, but is powerful. Even watering a plant with full attention is Dharma. Even listening to someone with kindness is Dharma. If your actions come from compassion, truth, and mindfulness, then you are already living with purpose. But the world is full of distractions, isn't it? Notifications, noise, worries, desires. These things steal your attention. They pull you away from your center. They make you forget who you are. And every time you forget, you fall into emptiness again. So what can you do? First, pause often. Before saying yes, ask why. Before replying, breathe. Before rushing, reflect. This simple pause will protect your energy. Second, do what aligns with your heart, not just your wallet. Of course, we need to survive. We need money, food, shelter, but don't sacrifice your soul to gain these. Don't burn your spirit just to light someone else's castle. Third, simplify. Dharma doesn't live in clutter. It lives in clarity. Cut out what is fake. Step away from what is heavy. Let go of the extra and return to the essential. Fourth, be of service. Not in a big, dramatic way, just in a quiet, loving way. Smile at a stranger. Forgive someone who hurt you. Share your food. Help an old person cross the street. When you serve with sincerity, you feed your purpose. And finally, remember this. Your life is not an accident. Your breath is not just biology. You're here for a reason, and that reason is not hidden. It's waiting inside you, like a candle in a dark room. You only need to stop chasing and start seeing. When you live your Dharma, even silence feels full. Even ordinary days feel sacred. Even pain becomes a teacher. Look around. Is your life full of motion but empty of meaning? If yes, return to the Dharma. Not to some holy book, but to your own soul. Ask yourself daily, is what I'm doing bringing me closer to peace or further from it? If it's peace you want, then that question will become your compass. You do not need to become someone else. You need to remember who you are. You're not the labels, the likes, the losses. You are the awareness behind them all. Now breathe, be still, and listen. Purpose doesn't scream. It whispers. It waits for you in the quiet spaces. And when you walk with it, your life no longer feels empty. It becomes sacred. The journey ahead, walking the path with peace. So, you have walked a long way. You have listened to the silence. You have sat with your pain. You have let go of things that hurt. You have understood that the emptiness you feel is not a punishment. It is a whisper, a quiet whisper from your soul. And now we are here, at the end, but also at the beginning. Let me tell you something gentle, something real. There is no final destination. In this life, the journey is the path, and the path is always changing. There will still be days when you feel heavy, days when the world seems too loud, days when your heart forgets all that it has learned. That is okay. That is life. But now, you are no longer asleep in it. You are walking with awareness. You are awake. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves." No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. You may remember this when you feel alone again. You may wonder, where did that peace go? But it's never gone. It is simply waiting, waiting for you to pause, to breathe, to return. Every lesson you've learned here is not a rule. It's not a strict instruction. It is like water. You don't hold it in your fist. You let it flow around you. You let it soak in. You let it become part of your way, not someone else's way. Your way. Maybe now you walk slower. Maybe now you don't react so quickly. Maybe now you don't try to fill the emptiness with noise. That's the real change. You're not escaping life anymore. You're entering it with your eyes open, with your heart open. Do you remember how we started this journey? With questions, with confusion, with silence that felt like a burden. And now, Silence is your friend. Now when you feel empty, you don't panic. You listen. You breathe. You sit. Because you have learned that sometimes doing nothing is not being lazy, it is being wise. You have learned that not every thought must be chased. Not every feeling must be feared. You have learned the sacred power of stillness. You see, life is not a race. It is not about getting somewhere. It is about becoming someone soft, someone awake, someone free. And freedom, oh yes, freedom, it doesn't come when everything outside you is perfect. It comes when you no longer need the outside to be perfect. You are free when peace is no longer a place you visit, but a place you live from. And that's what we've been building gently through every part of this journey. Brick by brick, breath by breath. Let me give you one final thought. A student once asked me, "Master, how do I stay on the path when life gets difficult again?" And I smiled. I said, "Don't try to stay on the path. Just try to return to it. That's the secret. You will forget. You will fall. You will lose your way. But you can always return, just like the breath. Inhale, exhale. Come back. Again and again. With kindness. With patience. With love. If you take anything from this entire series, let it be this. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're not lost. You're simply unfolding. Like a flower in spring. Like a wave in the ocean. Like a human being waking up. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Just keep walking. Gently. With eyes open. With heart steady. With spirit soft. Let the emptiness guide you, not scare you. Let the silence speak to you, not hurt you. Let each moment be enough. Even this one. Yes, even now. And now, dear one, if this journey has touched your heart, if even one word helped you breathe deeper or see clearer, then we ask just one simple thing. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, if this message felt like truth to you, like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us continue sharing peace in this noisy world. You never know who might need to hear what you've just heard. You never know whose heart might heal because you shared it. And remember, this may be the last part of the series, but your path is only beginning. So go, walk the path, not with fear, not with noise, but with quiet courage, with gentle wisdom, with steady peace. And when life feels empty again, as it sometimes will, you'll know what to do. Just come back. Just breathe. Just begin again. The journey ahead is yours. And I, your humble Zen Master, bow to the light that now lives in you.